right, good afternoon. It's Monday, the 17th of July. S&Ps are up 17.5% on the year. How about that? It's a little rich. And, so what we've got ahead of us this week, got Bank of America and Goldman Sachs tomorrow morning. Got Tesla and Netflix, along with some retail sales and housing data, middle of the week. And then Taiwan Semiconductor on, I believe, Thursday. And no real econ data this week. A little bit, but not any real econ data this week. But there is the Fed next Wednesday, right? So got a little bit of earnings, and good earnings can be sold into. So it's not like just because Goldman Sachs reports well, it's guaranteed to trade higher. I mean, it could easily be sold into. I've been bullish. I told you we've been on that for a couple of weeks now for the first half of July. But I can't be bullish up here. Not this high. I just can't. So, not a lot in the expected move for this week. Honestly, 50 plus or minus 50 for a 100-point range for the entire week makes sense to me. I mean, started off last night, the volume was very, very low. It was anemic, actually. It wasn't low. It was like anemic. The range was it was less than half of average. It was like a third of overnight average, right? And then we come in this morning and see, what about today? Well, today, actually, the only thing I can say, positive about the market today was it made a new high above Friday's high. But it gave it up and sold off down, into the close. So you can see that these higher prices, it's working very labored, right? It's very, very labored. It's working its way, trying to anyway, a little bit higher. But to start the week at about 40, ends today at 50 on a 65 high. It gave up the high and came in. I tell you what, breach, we'll say 45, 30 tomorrow and trigger short. I'm already short. I already started shorting today, but I don't really have any proof of concept here, i.e. evidence, that really speaks to what I was doing today, except that I was bullish the first half of the week. I came in, here's some evidence, I guess some evidence. I came in this morning and the overnight trade was extremely short. All the trade done last night was done below the prior settlement. And so it opened and rebalanced on the open to tick up a little bit. That's normal. So I started selling it to join the prevailing sentiment of the overnight, which would have it to then roll and continue down with what the overnight was doing, which was short. Now that second part of it did not work. It never really broke really nicely or strongly or nicely or something in my favor. But there's my evidence, I guess, if you will, right? That on I would anticipate a rest this week with no real econ in front of the Fed next week on the heels of the NASDAQ tacking on 3.3% last week. The Russell 3.5%. The S&P's 2.48 or something, 2.5%. The Dow 2.3%. The VIX was down 10% to 14, just a smidge off of its lows at 12.75. So this is a place that to me it makes sense that we could rest a little in front of, with nothing really to speak of this week other than some few maybe key earnings. You could say a little financials, a little tech, and then that's it, really. So I'm kind of, so far right this very minute, I'm not really right yet, but maybe I'm early, right? I started selling them this morning at 47. I worked an average up to where I went home short 52, and it goes out basically right there, right? It's like 50, 52 right now, so not great, but that's that's kind of where I'm at. Targets for this week, 44.65, and if it happens to go higher, the only thing that I'll take higher with it will be swing trades that I have no interest in really closing anyway. A bunch of like dividend stocks and stuff that I'll take. I'll take those with me. But I'm kind of really ready to kind of ride this thing back in some. But anyway, should it go higher, then if you want to, you can target 46.05, 46.04, 46.05, something like that. I'm going to be targeting 44.65 for me. That's what I'm going to be kind of looking. I'm going to be looking for more of a break than a bid. Weekly pivot, by the way, is back here at 45.05. That's an accurate reflection of this week's pivot based on last week's trade, 45.05. That's weekly pivot for this week. That's I can't think of a week in recent history that hasn't traded during the week at some point. So, I don't know, man. Hopefully it helps, but that's where I'm at. I'm kind of against the grain right now to start, but, I like to be in the short line versus the long line where everybody's lined up. Everybody's doing the same thing anyway, so that's kind of how I do it. But good trading. Take care. Nice evening. With you again at the next update.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me